Today we're going to talk about bypassing a point with your alarm system. To bypass a point is to tell your system to temporarily ignore any signals they get from that point. For example, if you have a door that you want to be able to open and close while the rest of the system is still armed. Remember, if you tell your system to ignore the point, your system is slightly less secure than it was designed to be. So before you bypass a point, make sure you know what you're doing. If you need to now tell your system to start paying attention to that point again, we reverse the procedure and we call that unbypassing. So when you're ready to have that particular point active again, we'll unbypass that point. Sometimes your alarm company will set up a feature called force arm. For example, if you have frequent renovations, or if you have lots of points that you'll want to bypass at once at random, you'll have a feature called force arm. So that tells the system to ignore all the points that are currently open and faulted and to just arm whatever it can. Remember, if you do force arm, your system is partially unprotected, so be sure you know what you're doing before you force arm. So let's get started. So here's how you bypass a point with the B920 keypad. We're going to enter the menu by pressing the menu button. The first option is for the on-off menu, and that's the menu that we want. So I'm going to hit 1. I'm going to use the previous and next keys to navigate to the bypass menu. Next, next, next. Now press 5 for the bypass menu, so I'm going to press 5. Now I'm going to press 1 to bypass points. I'm going to enter my passcode so it knows I have the authority to do that. I'm going to hit enter. Enter point. Now it tells me I want to enter the point number or press next to tell it which point I want to bypass. Now if I know the point number of the point I want to bypass, I would just enter it here. Or I can use the previous next buttons to navigate through all my points until I reach the point I want to bypass. Point number 1, front door, I want to bypass that point. So enter bypasses, so if I hit enter, it will be bypassed. I'm going to hit enter. And now it's telling me that front door is now bypassed. Now, if I want to undo that, I would just hit enter again because enter unbypasses. But I did that on purpose. I want it to be unbypassed. I'm going to hit escape until I get to the main screen. So it's telling me my main message, and it tells me that the system is off, so I'm out of the menu entirely. So unbypassed, I'm just going to do that in reverse. So I'm going to hit my menu button again, press 1 for on-off menu, bypasses in the on-off menu, so I'm going to hit 1. Now I'm going to use my previous next buttons to navigate to the bypass menu. Press 5 for bypass menu, so I'm going to hit 5. And now it's going to tell me to press 1 to bypass points. I don't want to bypass, I want to unbypass. So I'm going to use my previous and next buttons to get to the unbypass points. So now it's telling me to press 2 to unbypass points. I'm going to press 2. I'm going to enter my passcode again to let it know that I have the authority to bypass and unbypass points. I'm going to hit enter. Tell me again, enter point number or press next. So I'm going to navigate using my previous and next buttons to all the points that are unbypassed. In this case, I only have one point that's bypassed, and that's front door, point 1. So enter unbypasses. I do want to unbypass, so I'm going to hit enter. And now, front door is now unbypassed. It's now active, and the system knows to check the signal from the front door and do something about it. So now I'm going to hit escape until it brings me back to the main screen. If you want to arm your alarm even though you have points that are faulted, you can force your alarm to arm anyway. Right now I have a point faulted, and I'm going to arm my alarm by entering my code, hitting enter. It's telling me I have one faulted point. But if I hit enter to force on, so it forced armed the system.